John Sewell with Engearment.com. Got a really fun wireless microphone review and comparison for you. Got the brand new Synco microphone. This one's not on the market yet. It's a G2A2 Pro. So there's a G2A2, which there are videos on, but as far as I can tell, there's nothing out there on the new Pro version. Not only am I going to go into those microphones, but they actually asked me to compare them to my two favorites. The Rode Wireless Go 2, which you all know. I've got a lot of reviews on those. And then the DJI wireless microphone right here, which I use all the time on the run and gun setups. So these two almost always win comparing other microphones to them. So let's see what this has got to offer. It should be a lot of fun to review this. So let's get into it. One of the first things you'll notice about this microphone setup is its case. This is actually a really robust padded case, and it's also, you'll get a kick out of this, USB-C charging case that inside houses everything, and I mean everything. There are the three microphones right there, the receiver and the two transmitters. They both have their own microphones, but it also comes with lavalier microphones, cables, windscreens for the microphones, windscreens for the lavaliers. So all of that fits into this case, and this is how you charge it. So with this charging case, much like with the DJI charging case, it helps extend the life of the microphones. So I'll go into that in more detail in a moment, but just check out the size difference. So obviously the DJI case is smaller, but the DJI case, the one thing it keeps in there is the microphone, receiver, and other microphone, and then the two adapters. This actually quite handy iPhone adapter, which is a hack for a lot of things, because otherwise you have to get a TRRS to a Apple approved dongle to go into the iPhone, which is a solution, but I'm not going to talk about it right now. So this is the setup right here that goes into here. It would house the receiver and the two microphones, but not with the windscreen on, and no cable certainly, and certainly no extra lavalier microphones. So that's a big score for this guy. That's all fine and good. How does it sound? So I'm going to start off with the microphone itself, the microphone with the lavalier attached, and then I'll go to the Rode, and I'll use the same microphone for lavalier, and then I'll go to the DJI, and then the DJI with the lavalier. I'm not going to do distance testing. Other people will do that in the future. I don't care. Everything I'm shooting is within 30, 40, 50 feet of the camera, and I'm always facing the camera. Sometimes I do work with talent as we're presenting stuff, but I'm usually not more than 40, 50 feet away, so breaking apart is not an issue in my world that I'm doing. Worth noting as well, one of the big differences is these microphones have internal recording. DJI and the Rode, they will record internally, then you can dump them via the USB-C. This guy does not have any of that capability, so if that's something important to you, you can skip watching the rest of the video, because this is going to be irrelevant. But with that being said, let's jump into the sound on the G2A2 Pro. Before we get into the audio comparisons, it's worth noting what all comes with this kit. It's a lot more than comes with the Rode or the DJI. So obviously everything fit into this little package right here. You open it up and you get several things. There's a little barrier back here with a little kind of mesh area to house everything. You do get windscreens for both microphones. Now it's not the best connection. It reminds me a lot of the old Rode Wireless Go 1 systems, where you have to kind of get the hairs out of the way and then put it on. It doesn't rotate to click on like the new Rode or the new DJIs do. So I don't know how long it's going to last. If it falls off, I'll let you know, of course. But you get two of those windscreens. I'm going to tuck it back here. You get the cable, the regular audio cable to TRRS, and that would go into your smartphone. But if you're going into an iPhone, make sure you have the appropriate Lightning to TRRS cable. Don't buy a knockoff on Amazon. I have not got those to work. I've had to purchase the Apple ones. They're like $9. Just buy it once, the right time, the first time, and you won't have to worry about it. A USB-C cable for attaching to other devices. But notice no crazy three-pronged USB-C charging cable. You just charge it by plugging it into the case, and then the case then charges the microphone. And very importantly, it comes with two lavalier microphones with windscreens and clips. So I'll, of course, be using that in the test. But until then, we're just going to test the basic microphone with the receiver, or sorry, the transmitter with the receiver plugged into a Sony ZV-E1. We're going to set it to middle of the road and see how that looks and sounds. Okay, let's jump into it. Okay, we have it set to the lowest setting, which I believe is 0 on there, so it's probably pretty quiet. We'll bump it up one more notch. When you bump it up, it goes up by 2 or 3 steps, and then we'll go again. How loud is it now? How about now? We're getting up there. Let's see what the receiver says. We're at 12. How does 12? Looks like it's clipping right there, 12. There's 15, and then back to 0. So 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. I'm going to go back to 0. I'm going to go to 3. So it doesn't tell you in like decibels like the DJI and the Rode do, but you can adjust it from the base or from here. Interesting. You also have a mute button right here. So now it's not muted. Okay, cool. So let's plug in the lavalier and see how the lavalier sounds. So now we have the lavalier plugged in with the windscreen and the levels. They look good on here. It looks like I might be hitting just a bit of red. And again, this is at level 3. I'll confirm that at the base. So the base shows me +3. Again, it starts at 0. I wish I could see the levels on the actual transmitter. The functions I have is I can push it again. I bet it'll get louder. Yeah, probably a lot louder right there. I wish I could see what the levels were on the transmitter, the microphone. That would be very helpful. I do see a squiggly line for the noise reduction, so let's turn that on. See what that does. Did it change the levels at all? Did it reset? No, we're at 6. Cool, that's probably a little bit hot, but how does it sound with the noise cancellation? And I'm gonna walk into a different room just to see how far it'll go. Going into a hallway, I'm going into the kitchen, I'm facing away from the camera, obviously, and I've got 3 or 4 walls and some appliances between the microphone receiver and a back. Okay, did it cut out at all? We'll find out in post. Okay, so let's take another recap. This is level 6 out of 15. You can only jump in 3 jumps at a time. On the receiver, I can see the levels, the numbers they associate with. On the microphone, I cannot see any particular levels. I just know it's not hitting the red right now, and I see on my monitor through my Sony ZV-E1 into my monitor that looks like it's okay. So how does it sound? Now I'm going to go plug in to the Rode, which I started the show with, and with this microphone, the lavalier, and then I'm going to go to the DJI by itself and then DJI with lavalier. So let's get into that. Okay, now I'm using the lavalier from this kit right here going into Rode Go microphone right here. How does it sound? I want to unplug it and just for reference see how it sounds without the lavalier so you can see if this lavalier is good in general. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Now this is me just using the onboard microphone for the Rode Go. Not even the Go 2, just a Rode Go. I keep this in my studio all the time because I don't trust it with the windscreen, which is to be totally honest. So it has the same kind of clips as this microphone does for the windscreen, so we shall see how it works in the outside world. But how does this sound compared to the lavalier, compared to the lavalier with the Synco, and then just the Synco by itself? Up next, of course, we are going to do the DJI, so stay tuned. All right, now we're using the DJI microphone, which is what I most often use on this channel when I'm out running and gunning. I use a Rode in the studio just because the size is bigger than the DJI. The DJI tends to be lighter weight, a little bit better battery life, and I like that the windscreens stay in place, especially when I'm shooting outside. So this is where I clip it, usually right here. Of course, you can clip it lower. Sometimes I'll put it in a pocket, but I'm basically trying to talk for about a minute straight here so you can get a sense of how it sounds. Now I'm going to take this lavalier, which is not plugged in right now. This is the one that came with this guy, the G2A2 Pro, and see if this lavalier microphone performs well with the DJI microphone. Okay, now the lavalier is plugged into the DJI microphone. Look how small it is, just for comparison. It's just so small, which is why I use it in the field all the time. So there is the Rode next to the DJI, and just for the heck of it, show you the Synco, quite a bit bigger than the DJI. And then just for comparison, show you the size, the Pro A2, G2A2 Pro compared to the Rode. The Rode is still smaller than this, but by no means is this big. But how I would use this more often than not would be clipping this to the belt, using the lavalier, tucking it in much better than I have right now. Just want to show you where it is, but I'll tuck it in here and use it as a base. Is how I would more often than not use it. Of course, you could do it how I was using the Rode and the DJI, which is clipped into the shirt. Okay, so now we've heard 6 variations. We've heard the Rode, which we started the show with by itself. We've heard the Rode plugged into this lavalier microphone. We've heard the Synco, or Synco G2A2 Pro by itself and then plugged into a lavalier. And now we have the DJI we've heard by itself and now plugged into a lavalier. So honestly, which one do you think sounds the best? I'm going to find out in post what I think and let you know my thoughts at the end of the review. But this is a moment where I'd love for you to put in the comments which one you think sounds good, which one sounds full, which one is a great value or bargain. I mean, you're getting a lot of stuff with this kit right here. Yeah, let's find out. Let's find out and we'll do a conclusion. Conclusion time. All right. So listen to all the microphones in the 6 different configurations. And as I was going through kind of editing the video here in real time, I noticed how much noise there was when I got past level 9 on the G2A2 Pro. However, I found that at level 6, where I have it right now, I think it's a sweet spot as far as quality of sound and noise floor. I could hear when we got up, like I mentioned, 9, 12, 15, that the noise floor, at least in my opinion, was a little bit elevated, more than I would like. But you know what? Even on the road, when we got to higher gain, I noticed more introduction of noise as well. The DJI, again, always sounds good. And I'm not too sure if it's because I have the levels on that one set at 3 decibels. The Rode I have set around 3 decibels. And this guy, I don't know what decibels he's at. He's just at 6. It goes 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. 6, I think, sounds pretty good. And then the lavalier, which is not plugged in at the moment, I thought sounded pretty decent compared to the base microphones, the Rode, the DJI, and this guy. So I'll plug him in just so you can see. And this is where I usually keep microphones. Sometimes this can be kind of dangerous if you have a person with a bigger neck, myself included sometimes, or if it's a hairy neck, get some ruffling. So that is where lavalier comes in handy. Plug him in. Boom. And also is currently on the noise reduction, so I'm going to turn it off. Noise reduction is off now. Now I think this is the best of the worlds for this setup. I don't like digitally processed audio. I barely process my audio in post. I just try to make sure it's consistent throughout the video. And then when I put in like the intros and outros, that's not too out of sync or the intro or outro is too loud. Honestly, I don't do a whole lot of editing, as you can probably tell from this channel. But we do test a lot of gear in the real world and try and present it to you as authentically and unbiased as possible. So my unbiased takeaway on this setup, I think the main improvements I wish they could make is a readout, a numerical readout of some sort, of some kind of level on the microphone itself. Yes, you can see a screen, you can see a meter, but that doesn't do me a whole lot of good because it doesn't seem to really change no matter what I do on here. The positives are I can change the volume on here. I can also change the volume on the receiver. Size is another opportunity. You know, this is a bigger microphone, but it's bigger than the Rode and it's much bigger than the DJI. So if you're looking for a really lightweight, I mean, it's pretty lightweight, honestly. And if you're looking to clip it on here, again, it'll stay in place. It's just in comparison to the Rode and the DJI, it is bigger. However, they include the lavalier, which is very helpful. So you could easily tuck this out of the way, put this in the back pocket or in your pocket, and you're good to go, which is fantastic. There's 2 microphones included, just like with the Rode Wireless Go 2 and the DJI setup. But what I do like about this is everything fits in the case. That's right. And I can even fit it with the, now this does not seem like a very important topic for some people, but I love to keep my windscreens on my microphones because I usually shoot outside, and guess what? That microphone was on the wind cap was on the microphone, but as I feared, it doesn't stay in place very well. So that is another thing too. I wish that you could screw it in like the newer Rode and the newer DJI. If it could screw into place, that would just be awesome. So my feedback for that would be the screw-in microphone levels on both the transmitter and microphone, but the quality, the sound quality, I think is actually as good as the Rode, as the DJI, and the lavalier is fantastic. And it's nice that they included two. And I love that everything fits into one kit, and that kit is a charging kit. So, and then also, as I was going back to the footage, the digital signal processing, it did remove any kind of background noise. We had the HVAC going on through part of the video, and if you had headphones on, you probably heard that. But it did a really good job negotiating that. But I wouldn't use it, in my opinion. It sounds artificial. I don't like artificial. But I would trust this to be farther away. Like I did the demonstration where I walked through our home, through multiple walls to the kitchen, and it didn't cut out. It wasn't just my back turned to the receiver, it was my back turned to the receiver through 4 walls with appliances. So that's cool. So maybe you come to the same conclusion I did, maybe you have a different opinion. If you have a different one, share it below. We're all learning here. We're trying to do our best to find the best tools to help others create courses and seminars and do meetings and create content in this new world. So fun stuff. If you got any questions, shoot me a line, comments below, put a link below where to purchase when it does come out. I don't think it's out yet. Maybe come out in about another month or so. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, thumbs up, appreciated. Until next time, take care.